Okay, I have been getting so many messages from many of you who are considering going to Prague for your IVF. And one of the reasons that you may be considering this is because you are trying to do it in the UK, maybe on the NHS, and they have been bringing up your BMI. So I thought I would quickly tell you my experience with this because as you would have just seen, I did have a consultation with the NHS IVF here in Bristol. So I'm not going to make this too long-winded, but basically there came to the point of my appointment with the NHS, and the doctor had said, he brought up like what was my weight. He asked me what my weight was. I said, I think it's around this. And he was like, well, if it is that, you're like, I think it was like 10 pounds over what the BMI needs to be. Now, in my appointment with him, he had come to the conclusion that it is my fibroids that are 100, like he literally used the words 100% stopping us from getting pregnant, which I found really, really laughable because I'll go into that in another video. However, he said to me that it's my fibroids that are 100% the reason that we are not getting pregnant. And I said, okay. And he was like, so you need to go for surgery for this first. And I was like, okay. And then he was like, and you need to get your BMI down. And I was like, okay. And then I said to him, but be it that this is a gynecology issue, not necessarily a fertility issue, you're getting rid of the gynecology issue first. Why are you talking to me about weight right now? I'm not defensive about it because I can see that I've put on weight. It's not a surprise to me. However, I just think, why put more pressure on this when we're not even at the point of doing the IVF yet, which is something that I have to talk about in a different video, because I really do feel with the NHS, they're checking boxes. And this is why, if it is sustainable for you to do so, I would honestly, we shouldn't have to do this. And this is coming from someone who's paying for the NHS twice. You shouldn't have to go private, but I'm really seeing that sometimes in order to get the most appropriate healthcare, instead of just someone checking a box, you need to go private. But with that being said, his exact words to me were, Nicole, if you came here on a different day, you would see me for the gynecology issue because I do most of these surgeries in the Southwest, and I'm also like the private fertility consultant, and he also works privately at a clinic. And he said, if you came to me on a different day at the same time and your paperwork said gynecology, I wouldn't be talking to you about your weight, but be it that your file here says fertility, I have to talk to you about your weight. And I was like, I understand that, but you're resolving a gynecology issue. I can go lose the weight right now. You can sign me off on the paperwork. And then next month I could put on 10 pounds. And so I just found this, like, it left me with a really gross taste in my mouth because it just made me feel like instead of you focusing on what's going to get us to our end goal, you're fixating on these little nitpicky things that I understand he has to do for his job. But I also think, is the barrier to entry for you putting me down for this surgery the fact that I need to lose 10 pounds? Like, that's absolutely wild to me, especially when 10 pounds is so trivial. Like, I could go to the toilet and lose 10 pounds. You know, you can just gain 10 pounds over Christmas and then you can lose it very quickly as well. And so I just thought I would share that. And then on the Prague aspect of things, they've never brought up my BMI until they felt like maybe this is like a lesson in itself, but the more fat you have on your body is the more estrogen that you produce, because fat gets converted into estrogen. And with my first cycle and the trigger shot failing, they felt that maybe if I lost a little bit of weight, we wouldn't be trying to balance out hormones that are already so unbalanced due to me having a higher amount of fat on me at the moment. Besides that, there's been no talk of BMI brought up in regards to treatment in Prague. So hopefully that answers your questions.